River, what's the deal with ICP? Worth a look? Yes, it is worth a look. It's definitely worth a look. It's on my list for a deep dive. Jasmine Movement, Stephen Forberg, this one's for you, man. All right, let's talk about ICP for a moment because you know what? There's something there. It's been bugging me for a while. They see BitBoy Crypto, Ben Armstrong, always talking about ICP. And I'm thinking to myself, why does he always talk about ICP? All right. So we'll show you in a little bit in regards to the chart and all that, the history. This comes from the Jasmine Movement. We follow each other. I think he even watches the show once in a while. I could have sworn I've seen him here a few times. I used to think that GF Berg was Stephen Forberg. See how I kind of confused the two? Obviously, it's not the same person. Storing on chain has become a huge hurdle and very expensive for traditional blockchains. I'm telling you flat out, pay attention to this if you don't know about ICP. Because you know what? You're going to bite yourself in the butt later on. You're going to be like, hey, Max, did you talk about ICP? We're talking about it right now. I'm telling you flat out, there's a reason why I'm bringing it to your attention right now. So attention, please pay attention to this. If you don't know about ICP, there is the aha moment right here. It's worth paying attention to. One more time, storing data on-chain has been a huge hurdle and very expensive for traditional blockchains. What's the ICP connection? With Internet Computer, aka ICP, data can be held in a fully decentralized manner on-chain at very low cost. I'm telling you, this is going to get real good, making 100% on-chain Web3 possible. This comes from Dfinity. Storing data on-chain has been a huge hurdle and very expensive for traditional blockchains. With the Internet Computer, data can be held in a fully decentralized manner on-chain at very low cost, making 100% on-chain Web3 possible. We're going to play this. Listen what they say. It's only 26 seconds. We'll come right back. Today on a classical blockchain. Listen to this breakdown.
Today, on a classical blockchain network like Ethereum, it is basically impossible to just store one picture. If you take one JPEG file, it would cost you multiple $10,000s. To illustrate indeed the fair point that was in the question of the inferiority, that we have dramatically been able to change on the Internet Computer. So for the first time, not just basic, simple logic, but also data will be able to be held on decentralized blockchain environment.
Pretty cool stuff. Now, there's a little bit more I want to jump into in regards to ICP. Now, when I was on CMC, I know a lot of times I use CMC as a reference, but mainly when they have good summaries. I want to show you this for just a brief moment, and we're not going to take too much of a deep dive. I mean, I'll try to do that like maybe on a recorded video, but just pull this up for just a brief second. Yeah, so let's share this with you guys. All right, and let me see how I'm looking on this. Pretty good. I'm gonna make this a full screen, and yeah, let's jump into this. So let's read more. What the heck is Internet Computer and ICP? Now, before we jump into that, I want to show you guys something real quick. This project has a confirmed market cap of $1,648,000,000. It's ranked 39th overall. There's a circulating supply of 302,730,000 ICP. Total supply is basically 500 million, right? And this project has basically been around since I guess June of, I believe, 2022, right? It was as high as $428. I don't know. Some people, label this as a rug pull at one point. But even in the last bull market, right, around 11/11, 2021 with BTC and everything was at all-time highs, this was roughly like at $48 plus, okay? All right, so let's jump down. So what the heck is Internet Computer and why should we pay attention to this? So the Internet Computer blockchain incorporates a radical rethink of blockchain design powered by innovations in cryptography. It provides the first listen to this, quote, world computer blockchain that can be used to build almost any online system or service, including demanding web social media without the need for traditional IT, such as a cloud computing services. Think about how many darn projects that we have covered have partnerships with cloud computing services, right? Quite a few, right? Like even, Casper, just to name it, one, and there's a few other ones, right? Obviously, there's Flux. Shout out to Tim Shea. I mean, that's nothing bad, right? But this does it without the need of traditional IT cloud computing services. As such, it can enable full end-to-end decentralization. How about the Web3 enabler? We were just talking about this whole thing with Jasmine earlier and Web3 and what they can enable through what? Data democratization. Well, how about another one for size when it comes to data? So it says a Web3 enabler, and now imagine creating a group chat to organize your next vacation with friends, playing a social game, or interacting with photos and videos uploaded by your crush. That would be nice, right? Anyway, social networks are now part of everyday life. However, they pose numerous privacy issues. Again, if you're into Jasmine, this spells like, oh, this is something like somewhat similar, but different, right? And you should be bullish on this, in my opinion, or at least give it more of your own, deep dive or research, right? At least I think so. Am I into it? No, but man, there's times I'm thinking like I think there's something here, because I understand a lot of people. Not everybody's a fan of BitBoy Crypto, but I mean, why does he keep mentioning this? He's not sponsored by them or anything. So it says share sensitive information with corporations and often overwhelm users with advertisements. When you sign up, you are asked to agree to general terms and conditions, but you cannot influence how your data is used. Again, it's like a different form of Jasmine. You get what I'm saying? Like there's kind of that similar use case, if you will. It says, or what features the services provide. Web3 has the potential, as we know, to fundamentally update this old formula. The true world computer can be used to build anything in a totally decentralized way, including demanding services like social networks, whereas before, blockchains could only be used to build Web3 services in conjunction with traditional IT, such as cloud computing services. A world computer blockchain makes it possible to build services that run entirely on blockchain. Now listen to this. This makes it possible to assign control of these services to community DAOs, which are decentralized. We know what DAOs are. These play the role of digital democracies. Again, if you're in the Jasmine, look at this. Look how similar this sounds, right? But not exactly the same thing, right? So, again, these play the role of digital democracies in cyberspace that mediate the wishes of their online communities regarding economic matters and how to update and configure the services. Now, in regards to this new formula, users are becoming both owners of Web3 services and also part of the team that runs them. For example, by referring to other users to drive viral growth, or helping with important tasks such as content moderation. Because Web3 services is running on the blockchain under the control of a DAO, they are fully decentralized. Just like a blockchain, they can also tokenize just like a blockchain. And here's an example. A Web3 service might airdrop the DAO's governance tokens to users that help out, or enable users to send Satoshis with a chat message. Services like this are already being built today on the Internet Computer Blockchain, which has provided the world computer capabilities and functionality necessary. The aim is to transform the entire Internet ecosystem. That's why it's called Internet Computer. And of course, there's more about the world computer functionality, so on and so forth. You can take more of your own deep dive. I think there's another aha moment here. Just a second. Yeah, there is. It's right here. All right, let's read this for a second. The Internet Computer provides canister smart contract functionality. Now, if you're wondering about that, these can do many things, including servicing interactive web experiences directly to users by processing HTTP requests, creating transactions that directly run on other blockchains using chain key FTX, scaling without limit. Scaling without limit. That would be the definition of scaling. I mean, I don't know why they got put without limit. And running without, or I'm sorry, and running with efficiency comparable to traditional IT, greatly reducing the harmful CO2 emissions caused by blockchain, and one day the tech ecosystem generally. Web3 developers can build DeFi, SocialFi, and GameFi and metaverse services. They can also process tokens and other blockchains without bridges using chain key, TX transactions, I should say. They can full decentralized systems such as DeFi on Ethereum, like the guy mentioned in that short video clip, by using the internet computer to create the interactive web experience in place of centralized traditional IT, such as cloud computing services. A little bit more in regards to this. If you're wondering about the gas on the internet computer, canister smart contracts uniquely pay for their own computation using a reverse gas. Think about that for a second. Model. Now, if you're wondering about that, this means Web3 users can create sessions with services which can submit vast numbers of blockchain transactions, such as sending chat messages in a conversation without requiring additional interaction from the user, which means like, you don't have to have a bunch of KYC on top of it and so on. The internet computer supports new blockchain authentication system called Internet Identity. This allows users to use their devices as cryptographic passwords, signing into online services using the fingerprint sensor on their laptop or Face ID on their phone, as well as traditional devices like Ledger Wallet. In a nutshell, guys, I'm going to tell you something real quick, all right? Let me come back into the frame. This kind of reminds me of Jasmine with a little bit of Nexera. For real. Think of what we just mentioned. Does it not? I mean, everything that we literally read right here, a lot of it felt like, okay, this seems like it's Jasmine. And then we got more into it about, the whole thing with the fingerprint identity and whatnot. Doesn't that basically remind you of Nexera? But the key thing is data, right? It's kind of like the best of both worlds to a sense. I think there's something really here. I mean, obviously, a lot of us are really excited about projects that specialize in data, whether you're into DAG, whether you're into energy web token, like Tokenizer was talking about, and so on, or some of these other ones, Jasmine, right? Or how about this internet computer? There is, I think that that might be the last part. I might get into everything here. I'm gonna read this last part because I don't want to make it a super long deep dive. We do need to pay attention to this particular part. So let me jump back, full screen that real quick. This last part. Why does the ICP token have value? That's a great thing to ask. The ICP token has three main utilities because people are going to ask that. Well, what kind of utility does it have? Kind of like Jasmine, the main utility layer is data democratization through the personal data lockers, PDL. Well, what about ICP? Well, ICP provides a source of cycles that are burned to power computation. Thus, when ICP is converted to cycles, it disappears, creating deflationary pressure. Secondly, ICP can be staked in the permissionless network nervous system. That sounds interesting. It almost sounds like anatomy, but through blockchain, right? I mean, think about it. So network nervous system DAO that governs the internet computer blockchain, creating voting neurons. Think about why they just mentioned network nervous system. I didn't make that up. There it is. I mean, anyway, that generate voting rewards. Thirdly, ICP plays the role of a store of value. How people always talk about BTC as still being a great store of value. For example, allowing users to invest in decentralization sales run by Web3 services. So technically, I mean, am I too far off? I'm going to come back in the frame. Am I too far off when it comes to this? Just from the brief, analysis that we did. You can see how it's similar to Jasmine. You can see how it has the Nexera, some of that stuff in it. And one could even say, hey, you know what? It reminds you of Bitcoin to a sense, the store of value, if you will, right? Best of all three worlds? I don't know. Is it worth getting into? That is up to you. But if anything, it has definitely caught my interest numerous times, and of course it is on my list of all the other ones on my grocery list to do more of a deep dive into. Glad to be able to give you guys this little brief intro. Take more of a deeper dive into it if you want for yourself. If you hold ICP, by all means, drop in the comments, if you hold it, and if you are going to hold it long term, what are you looking to do with it? Do you have any new news that we should pay attention to? Why we should take a look into ICP further? But thank you for bringing that up, River. Appreciate you, man. All right.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.